So hi, welcome to my podcast. I'm Shane.
I'm Glory.
And we're here with.
And I'm Taz from Belmont.
And we're some questions to say about their new album, Liminal. So congrats on that, by the way. How do you feel about the response to it so far?
The album response has been it's been great so far. Everything we've been trying to push some new stuff with it, a lot of older stuff too as well. Just trying to throw it back to some older Belmont stuff, and I feel like all of that's really resonated with people. So it's been really exciting so far.
Hell yeah, the album fucking rocks. I've been a fan of you guys for a long time, and I wholeheartedly agree with the throwback. There were a couple of songs where I was like, this is calling back to the first record, and I was so into it. But the whole album's fucking awesome.
Hell yeah, thank you, man. I appreciate that.
Of course.
Absolutely. Just to echo most of what Shane said, I'm a newer fan. This was my first album that I've like completely 100% been on board with.
Hell yeah.
Fucking incredible. I feel like I've been praising it way too much, but it is genuinely a album of the year contender for me. It's
thank you. That seriously means a lot. Thank you. Yeah. Your shirt is badass, by the way. We really love yeah.
Yeah, hell yeah. I just saw them like 2 days ago. They're fucking
nice.
Awesome.
Yeah, hell yeah, badass band.
Damn right. Yeah. So is there any meaning behind the album title or cover art?
So yeah, definitely with the word liminals, like transitional like spaces and kind of periods in your life. And so the whole album kind of talks about a lot of just different points of my life over the last couple of years, kind of starting from like a little bit past pandemic. Just been going through a lot of personal changes in my life. I've like moved across the country. My mother was going through cancer. Just personal day-to-day things. So there's just a lot of personal struggles I was dealing with, but at the same time, I feel like through all that stuff too, a lot of the songs also kind of talk about like the personal struggles I deal with, but not necessarily like it's not about like not about myself, but it's more about like, things I've also like harm and other things that I put onto other people, and through my personal struggles and things that I've done, the things I projected onto other people. So I talk about a lot of that stuff too. So I feel like with Liminal, it's kind of like it's a transitional between like, things that I feel like I'm learning and about myself, but also things that I'm learning about, like, that I've done to other people and that other people have done to me, that it's kind of it's like a flow between sorry, I'm little just jumping on this right now, but yeah, it's definitely a very transitional piece for sure.
Absolutely. Yeah. And any meaning behind the cover art?
Honestly, the album art we thought was kind of badass. We wanted something that we felt like reflected the the idea between transition. So kind of with like the rotating woman and just like, just the colors. We just felt like it was just a good it just represented the word liminal for sure.
I think it does. 100%. Yeah. Hell yeah. Yeah. So can you tell us a little bit about your writing process for the album?
Yeah. So a lot of the instrumentals actually come pretty much from Jason and Brian. That's something that's been newer for the band. With a lot of the older stuff, there's a lot of me doing instrumentals with Brian, because we didn't pick up Jason until actually around the first full length. That's when he hopped in the band. So there's a lot of changes in the writing process actually, and it's become like I said, more Brian and Jason heavy on the instrumental. So a lot of times those dudes we'll all kind of get together like before we go into the studio, whatever, like hash out a bunch of like ideas, and then when we get into the actual studio, we start like ironing out like songs that we get a full bass that we feel is good instrumentally, and then they hand it over to me and I write all the vocals like on top of them.
Did you struggle at all kind of like handing off the instrumental writing to the other band members?
I mean, in some ways it was in like, I don't know, I guess there was like something that kind of happened naturally, because and like for example, like with Vicissitude Between You and Me, most of that was written by me instrumentally, and like Brian on drums, obviously. And Brian obviously had his part in there too. But it was like I said, around the full length, Brian and I came into the studio, and Jason was actually Brian's friend from Berkeley. That's how they met. And so I'd never met Jason before. He was just going to be like, he just was working at the studio, needed a band to record, because he was just like, that's what he's going to school for. So we ended up like getting in there with him. And like I said, Brian and I had written like, I don't know, we had like maybe like 4 or 5 songs in there. And then we just like kind of fed the ideas to Jason, and he just kind of like kept going with it. And then we ended up writing more in the studio there, and things just felt like really natural like that. And I guess like from there, it allowed me to focus more on the vocals. So like I said, it was kind of a natural process of like, all right, we've got like a dude who like Jason is like obviously way more like proficient at guitar and just like a insane fucking shredder all around. So it's just nice to like let that dude like handle his thing, and then I can like handle my thing. So it's all just kind of like flowed naturally, especially now that we're down to a 3-piece. It all just works where it's kind of like, you know, the two dudes playing the instruments, like write all the instruments, I focus on the vocals, and it's just kind of been it's been a much better process like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hell yeah. Incredible. All right. So what song off this album took longest to write, and which one is your personal favorite?
So I think the longest to write was actually All Bite, because that was actually a song we were kind of I'm gonna be honest, that was like my least favorite at first when we were like first like hashing things out in the studio. I was like, man, like I really like, I don't know if I'm like vibing with this one. It was just like so like off kilter from the other shit that we had going on, and I was just like it was like cool, but I was just like, I don't know, I just couldn't get into the vibe of it. And it was like actually the last song I actually wrote lyrically, but ended up I guess that was like the hardest because we went through a lot of changes with it, like from what that song is now to what it started with. Went through a lot of just like restructuring, like writing new parts, just like almost a whole new song, because it was just kind of I think one of the only parts we really kept was the breakdown, because Brian, when he wrote that shit, he was like very like adamant. He was like, no, this is like the breakdown I want. So like we kind of structured things around that. So that would say that was like the hardest and longest song. I think my favorite, I would probably say Dark Paradise. Like, not sure why. There's just something, or actually, no, Day by Day. Definitely Day by Day, I will say for sure. Just, I think a big part of it is that I'm a big fan of like volumes personally. And so like, I feel like a lot of that kind of has like an ethereal, genty vibe in there while keeping it still like pop punk and like Belmonty. So like, I feel like I was able to kind of like branch out a little more, especially like the chorus, like get some more screams in there and try like different things that I couldn't try in other songs. So that was, I think that's one of my favorite for sure.
Gotcha. So for All Bite, start to finish, how long did it take?
I mean, the recording process the whole time we were down there, I think it was like 6 weeks. So I would say probably like 5-6 weeks. I mean, not to write like say like fully write it, but like to actually like start from like, you know, like a baseline song to finish like recording was probably about like 5 weeks.
Okay, and were you the only person in the studio who was like, guys, I don't know about this track, or was it kind of just like everyone trying to push through?
It was definitely mainly me, because like that was we work with Andrew Wade, and he's definitely a big guy on like pushing vocals and like just producing that kind of stuff. So like he's definitely big on like, if you're not feeling the vibe, like we're just gonna like, we just worked on everything else until like, you know, it was like we just kept like chipping away at it, like, do you fuck with this now, do you fuck with this now? And then it's like, you know, there's certain parts where like too where like I would like something, but then like Brian or Jason would be like, nah, I don't like that now. So like, you know, it was like it's like a puzzle piece finding like, so everybody's like happy. But there's also going to be a certain point where like, you know, you're not gonna maybe 100% be down with every single thing on board, but you just gotta, you know, you get what you get, so you gotta give in the other areas too.
Yeah. Okay, so what was like the difference between kind of what it started out as versus what it ended up as? Like, because you said it was like, I mean, it is different compared to the rest of the album, but like what was kind of the shift that made you say, okay, now I can get on board with this?
Honestly, I think a big part of it was the chorus, because the chorus was definitely a lot more I feel like butt rocky, and it was just kind of like, I don't know, it just didn't like, there's just something about it that didn't like fit right with me. And like and a big part of what we did too, and this is kind of something what I was just talking about, like the split part. So a big part of it too is like the second chorus is in halftime with drums, and the first chorus is like more of a straight like rocky kind of beat. And I was big for like, I wanted the straight rocky beat. Brian wanted the halftime thing. And that was like a big, for some reason, I don't know, the chorus just with that halftime thing just didn't work for me. But then we ended up splitting where, like I said, first chorus is this way, second chorus is that way. We both got what we wanted. And I think it works really well for the song as well. So there's kind of like, okay, we can both like, you know, come together here and find something that makes us both happy.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Oh yeah. I just think it's funny that it started out as your least favorite in the studio and wound up being one of the singles for the album rollout. So it really evolved, you
I
know.
feel like that's honestly like that shit kind of happens a lot, low key. Something you think you're gonna like hate ends up becoming like your most favorite at the end.
Yeah, it's also like, at least to me, a bigger moment in the record because it's got that perfect transition from Dark Paradise into All Bite. So I like that song.
Hell yeah, man! Thank you. I appreciate that.
So how'd the track list for the album come about? Did you guys write the opener be the opener, close be a closer, shuffle around and see what fits? What was that process like?
So we kind of do it the same way every time. We pretty much just write all the songs kind of like as singles, and then like there's a few of them where we'll get in there, and it's like, you know, okay, this one blends into this one. So like example, like we were talking about, just Dark Paradise and All Bite. You know, like those two were not written to go into each other, but then just like, you know, just kind of one of those things where like in the studio where you just were like, oh shit, this sounds like cool. It's like, so that, you know, there's certain songs like that where you know for sure, okay, those two are gonna be next to each other on the album. But for the most part, we honestly like we'll sit there for like a couple weeks and just like jam the album in like different orders, you know what I mean, of like just whatever feels best. But there's definitely times too where you can kind of just tell when a song is like, it just feels like a closer, you know what I mean? Yeah. There's just like a certain vibe to it. It's like, all right, this is just done, like nothing else, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, I feel like sometimes it comes naturally, but for the most part, yeah, you kind of sit there for a while and just like play around with things, and then you're like, okay, cool, this feels right.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Hell yeah. And I did just want to applaud you on the opener, SSX Trickmont.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah. Fucking perfect opener. It is my personal favorite off of the record. So just starting off with that one is an immediate win for me. So.
Oh, hell yeah. Fuck yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, of course. So would you be able to tell us where your headspace is at while you were creating this record?
Yeah, honestly. So a lot of it was actually, so I wrote most of the album, or not most, but all the album down in Florida while we were recording it over that 6 weeks. So basically, like I said, the guys would, I kind of had like semblance of some of the songs like coming in. Like I said, we probably had like, I don't know, like 8-10 songs like coming in that are pretty much fully fleshed out. So I kind of had like a good idea, you know, I try to get like, if I can think of a chorus here or there, I'll like, you know, throw that stuff on. But for the most part, we'll get in, like I said, we'll sit down with Wade, and then you know, the guys will feed me the songs, and I'll be just like sitting in a room by myself for like 8 hours a day, just like spinning off ideas and just like going through it all. But honestly, like, is like corny as it sounds, like I kind of just like I don't even know like what the correct word for it is, like creative flow, whatever.
You thrive
I just
on the
like
pressure.
Let things come out. Yeah, exactly. I would just kind of like sit there and I'm just like, just let shit come out. Sometimes I honestly won't even know like what exactly it is I'm writing about in the moment, because I'm just kind of like letting it out. And then like once it all comes together, then I'm like, oh, okay, this is like, and then I can go back and kind of like hone little things in that I want to change. But for a lot of the time, honestly, I kind of just like just let it come out, and then find out the meaning of it a little later. It's kind of a weird process.
Gotcha.
Okay. So are lyrics just 100% you? Because you said you kind of sit in a room by yourself. So they're all just you?
Yep, 100%.
Oh, that's fucking awesome. Okay.
Hell yeah.
And I guess you prefer the writing in the studio versus coming in with lyrics. Do you come in with any sort of lyric ideas, or is it just like you kind of know the songs, the instrumentals you're going in with, and you're just writing it in the studio?
Yeah, I usually just write in the studio because I don't know. I personally feel like, because like if I hold on to a song too long and I start trying to like for example, if I like write a song like right now and I'm not going to be in the studio for another year, I feel like by the time I get to that song in a year, I'm going to kind of lose like that, like, you know, like not meaning, but like the passion, I guess, behind what I'm trying to write about. And exactly, yeah, the connection, the immediate connection. So I feel like when I'm in the studio, I kind of just like, I don't know, like I said, I kind of just like almost like black out. I'm just like, all right, cool, just fucking get it all out, fucking on the spot, what I'm feeling. And it's just always kind of worked out that way for me. And I've always just like, whenever I've like had to write in school and stuff like that too, I've always been that type of person that just like, I can't write a paper. Like if I have a 10-page paper due, I can't write it like over the course of a week. I'm going to write it like for fucking 10 hours before it's due. And like, it's just, that's my best writing. Like, it's just how I've always been, I guess. So I've just kind of like transitioned that into the music part as well.
Gotcha. Do you flex your writing muscle at all when you're outside of the studio? Like, or do you just, when you go in the studio, you're just able to turn it on and black out and write a record?
A little bit of both, I guess, because when I'm at home, I do a lot of like personal writing, just like solo stuff. Like I've got way too many songs that I low key of like just don't even know what the fuck I'm doing with them yet. But I do a lot of writing at home when I feel it, but I also like I don't know, I feel like when it comes to things like especially with like lyrics and just like I guess like music in general, like you know, at a certain point, yeah, you have to like, you know, give yourself some motivation, but I feel like in the form of like forcing motivation or like forcing yourself like I should write a song today to like you know write just to, for the point of writing a song like I obviously can see how that could be like beneficial and like you know obviously to some people, but I also feel like in a certain degree that like gets you locked into like a certain mindset of like you have to like you start like I have to write this way and I have to like it becomes more of like a chore rather than like you said I don't when it's a spur of a moment thing to me it just feels natural and like this is like what needs to be done here. Because when I try to write stuff and again if I'm like I'm gonna like try to write a song today it always just like I'm never happy with it like I will always go back to it and be like it just doesn't work for me.
Fair enough. Yeah.
Right.
So how do you recommend your fans to listen to this album for the first time? Should do in the car with friends, in the dark with headphones on? Is workout album, party album? What do you personally recommend?
Shit. I mean, I would say bang it over some speakers for sure, because I feel like that's kind of like a lost thing no one does anymore. Like just even your car speakers, just like go blast that shit. I feel like everyone's like so like on their phones now and like AirPods, which are like, you know, they're not bad, but like I don't know, I feel like just go listen to the record on some fucking good speakers. It sounds dope. Andrew Wade took some good time mixing shit. There's a lot of little things that you'll miss too if you're not like, you know, if you're listening on your phone speaker, you won't catch. So there's I would definitely recommend that. But I mean, shit, dude, friends at a party at the gym, like I've heard everybody like, I listen to this at work, I listen to this at the gym, I listen to this when I'm smoking weed. Like, you know, it's like, I feel like it's just an all around good time vibe.
I agree.
Hell yeah. Sure. So this one should be super, super quick off the top of your head. I want you to describe this album for new listeners in 3 words. No more, no less.
Oh shit. Um, Big fucking bounce.
Fuck
Hell
yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
All right.
And in that
Yeah.
same train of thought, is there a certain feeling or emotion you want listeners to have while going through the album?
Shit. Love yourself and love others and just realize that like every like now is now and like everything is temporary. Like as corny as that sounds, like take the good with the good and the bad with the bad. Cause like when you're feeling real low, better days are ahead and enjoy the good days because unfortunately, you know, at some point like something in life is gonna throw a curveball. So just learn to love yourself, love your friends, love your family, and just enjoy life while you can.
Is that something that you took away from it? Like one, because I know you mentioned when you're in it, you don't even necessarily know what you're writing, but like once you took a step back, is that one of the things that you took away from this record, like your headspace in a way?
Definitely, absolutely, especially in terms of like I said, I wrote this album, this was about like probably a year and a half ago now, and it was just kind of like in a very like just weird period in my life. Like I said, like my mom was going through cancer. It was just a lot of life changes going on and things that you know just kind of made me wake up to like reality, I guess, a bit. And my mom passed back in December, and so like actually having this album now kind of like draws out a lot of that emotion of I'm realizing now things I was talking about back then, you know what I mean, that I was like stuffing deep down and not like paying attention to or you know ignoring, and now it's like things now like I said that resonate with me and make sense you know now with like my mother's passing and realizing that you know like things are so temporary, but like at the same time like you know as much as like it's weird, it's like that was such a hard point in my life to go through, but like at the same time I feel like I've grown and like it become like in ways like more free in my life, and so it's like I said, it's kind of like the good with the bad type of deal, and that's like definitely been resonating with me lately with that.
Absolutely.
I'm sorry for your loss.
Mm-hmm.
I appreciate it, man. It's all good.
So, are you able to touch on any particularly challenging or standout moments from the creation of this album, positive or negative?
Um, I mean, shit, I can say that it definitely feels like it feels good that with like all the shit we've been through, like as a band, it just as like people, that like, you know, I've been in this band with Brian since like we were like 16, 17, so like 2014, 2015. And it's just crazy now when I like look at us that like, you know, we're still fucking me and him. And then even, you know, obviously Jason's been around with us since like 2018. So damn near like 6-7 years. It's just crazy to see that, like, I don't know. It just feels, I'm proud that like us three guys can like get in there, and with like Andrew, like obviously, you know, he's a fucking big part of everything too. But it's just like that the three of us can like still come together and like fucking have fun writing an album, because like that's like above all too. Like I've always told myself, like, if I'm not having fun doing this shit, like I don't want to do it anymore, because like it's, you know, like I mean, we're not millionaires, like no one's like no one's like faking like we are. So you know, if you're not having fun doing this, like, you know, what's the point? It's not, again, not like I'm fucking making $1 million going on tour or something. I'm doing it because like I enjoy it and the connection with the people, and you know, it's something that's the fact that I've been able to last this long with my band and get in here, and this is album number 3, and we're still in there being goofy, having fun, putting SpongeBob memes in our fucking songs, like as a breakdown. Like to me, that's the shit that's like, that's the highlight, because it's like, you know, I basically am like just getting to just create things with my friends that like I feel like I would never get any other opportunity to do this with. So the whole thing has just been a whole absolute highlight. The fact that, again, I get to do this with my friends, that's the biggest highlight for sure.
I fucking
That's
love
so
that.
sweet.
Oh yeah. So for this question, I want you to picture you're on tour, you're at a gas station for a rest stop. What is your snack of choice?
Dude, chocolate milk, no fucking doubt. I drink chocolate milk every single night. Chocolate milk or a fucking milkshake.
Mm-hmm.
Probably throwing some like Kit Kats in there, maybe some donuts.
Damn right.
Yeah. Big time.
Yeah.
Big time chocolate milk, hands down. No.
All right.
It's good.
Just stop. In the middle of nowhere. Go get some chocolate milk.
Chocolate milk, man. Damn. And on the topic of food, if the band was a dish, what dish would the band be and why?
I feel like Brian will love this one, probably like surf and turf, because there's just a little bit of everything for everyone, you know what I mean? Just a big fucking, there's just a little bit of everything. It's got some spice in it. It's got some fucking juice to it. I just, I feel like it would be surf and turf.
All right. Hell yeah. All right. And for the last couple questions, we're going to shift completely away from music and go straight to death row.
Boom.
So if you're on death row, what would your last meal be with a drink?
Shit, dude, you already know I'm getting chocolate milk.
Of course.
That's the drink for sure.
Yeah.
Shit, last meal though, that's crazy. Damn. I'm not gonna lie, like I'm a pretty simple guy. It's probably gonna be like a big fat ass steak with mashed potatoes and like a gallon of chocolate milk, dude. Like I would probably be like stoked as hell with that. I'd be like, oh, going out happy.
That's a crazy ass.
That makes me a little queasy thinking about that. But listen, man, if that's what you like, God bless you, you know?
They call boy dinner, all right?
And if you could live in one fictional world for a week, where would you live?
Probably gonna be controversial, but definitely South Park.
Oh,
yes.
Hell yeah. That'd be fucking awesome.
Yeah.
You'd have to kick Cartman's ass, but like.
Oh, dude, yeah, for sure. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Me and Cartman be beefing all the time.
It's on site, man. Hell no.
I have thought of asking the last question. Every single person we've spoken to have said that it is the most important question. What's your favorite color?
Definitely baby blue.
Solid color.
Good color.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So as I said, that's all the questions we have today. Is there anything that you would like to plug?
I think that's it for me, man. Appreciate y'all fucking having me on, for real. Sorry I was running late. I really apologize for that.
You're all good.
It's okay.
I appreciate you sitting down with us. It's been Taz from Belmont, and we have been the Good Noise Podcast.